I made this channel with a single purpose: convince as many entrepreneurs and founders, convince as many people that taste sharing, making, and creating is the #1 way to get into creative industry role and get paid. But in this video, I don't want to share this elaborate game plan for how I was going to revolutionize the new generation of creative directors. No, in this video, I want to start with addressing everyone that already has their own project and how something so minor like vision building on Pinterest can change your brand from bottom shelf, 0 follower material to a sold out aesthetic masterclass. And look, before we get into this, I know what the title sounds like: Pinterest, the thing your older sister used to plan her wedding on, the thing that lives next to a Canva tab and a Spotify playlist called Monday Motivation. I get it. But stay with me, because this isn't about Pinterest. Pinterest is just the door. What's behind it is something that most brands, most paid brands, never figure out. Let's get the elephant out of the room immediately. Is manifestation real? The short answer is, I don't know. And more importantly, I don't think it really matters. Here's where I think the whole conversation around manifestation goes completely off the rails. People hear vision board and they picture someone cutting out a Lamborghini from a magazine, pinning it next to a photo of a mansion, and then waiting, genuinely waiting, as if the universe is sitting there with a checklist going, okay, he pinned the car, send the car his way. That is not what I'm talking about, like not even close. The version of visualization I'm interested in, and the one that actually has changed how I build brands, it's not about objects, it's about operating systems. And this sounds so fugazi. It's really not. It's not a I want that. It's a I want to move like that. I want to make decisions like that. I want my clients to feel like that when they work with me. There's a reason every serious director, every serious creative, every serious fashion house starts a project with a reference deck.
This is men's team working on pre-collection next season. Shoes are happening in the back.
Not because they believe staring at images will summon results, but because the act of choosing, the act of saying this yes, this no, it in itself is a form of creative decision making. And when you do that enough times, something real happens. A flip switches, a switch of the flip of, whatever. You start to develop a taste, fingerprint, something so specific to you that it starts showing up unconsciously, subconsciously, whatever the hell consciously, in the work you produce and the clients that you attract. So is manifestation real? I'll just say this. The ritual of it is real. The discipline of returning to a clear visual language and asking yourself, does this belong in my world or not? That is a real creative skill. And yes, it does compound. Look, brands that last, they don't just have a logo and a font, they have a point of view, a POV that is so consistent, you could strip their name off everything and you would still know it's them. And that doesn't happen by accident. It's deliberate. And Pinterest, or whatever your version of Pinterest is, it's just a training ground for that specific decision-making muscle. This next part, it's almost kind of like the part that nobody wants to hear, and often my clients will want to, skip the sessions where we have to go over it and over it again. But yes, consuming absolutely slows you down, but not for the reason that you think. The problem isn't that you're looking at too many references. The problem is that most people use references the way tourists use museums. They walk through them, they look, they go away, that's nice, that means this, they laugh about something, and they leave exactly the same as when they came in. Very few things are processed, very few things are extracted, and nothing is converted into something usable. Let me give you a real example. A few years back, I was deep into building a client's brand. I won't name them, but the category is premium lifestyle. And I had a Pinterest board that was genuinely beautiful. I'm talking architecture, photography, color palettes, typography, campaign, references. Hundreds of pins, and the board looked incredible. And the brand looked like nothing, because I had been collecting and not deciding, and that's a massive difference. I was too focused on playing the creative director rather than being the creative director. I was too focused on consumption rather than creation, and it totally changed my life when I flipped them around, when the common denominator was always to create, and so that made consumption really much easier and much much easier to stomach almost, if that makes sense. The trap of visual boarding, and this is specific to platforms like Pinterest, is that you're literally designed to keep scrolling. So here's what I changed, and what I tell you to do right now if your brand feels scattered or undefined. Stop pinning broadly. Start pinning with a question. Every time you go to your board, you have one question in your hand. Not what looks cool, but something specific. What does the first 5 seconds of a client call with me feel like? What does the Sunday morning of my ideal customer look like? If my brand were a hotel lobby, what's in it? Those constraints, those specific, slightly weird questions, they force your taste to become useful instead of just decorative. And useful taste is what separates a brand that looks good on a mood board from a brand that actually makes money. Because a brand that only exists on Pinterest is just expensive wallpaper. Now, I want to talk about something that gets a bad reputation, and I want to rehabilitate it just a little. Fake it till you make it. Said to most people means pretend to be something you're not until the world catches up to a lie. And sure, in that reading, it is pretty hollow advice. It's the advice that produces founders who name drop clients they don't have and post rented cars on rented trips. But there's a different reading, and the different reading is this: build the world before the world exists. I mean, every great brand from every person I know has started as fiction. It started as someone's imagination of what could be. Those people, they began constructing the physical, digital, and emotional architecture of that imagined world. And not lying about it, but actually going and building it. And I'll tell you something that I've shared before on this channel many times. When I was working on building out a proper client experience for my own company, the instinct was to get a physical space, a private members type of environment, something that felt premium, exclusive, real. And the reality check came fast. That's a different type of business. It's not a brand investment. That's a real estate problem. So instead, we built something digital, a password locked, designed to feel physical. And the sign that we made for it, we actually produced physical versions of that sign so that the thing had weight, so it had presence in the real world, even though its function was entirely digital. Victor, please pull it up on the screen so people can understand what I am talking about. That is faking until you make it done right. You're not lying to your clients. You're giving them the experience before the final form is complete. You're letting them live inside your vision. And Pinterest works exactly the same way for a brand. When you build a board that is truly specific, not just dark academia vibes or sci-fi matcha latte cafe or clean minimal aesthetic, but a board so particular that someone could look at it and say, I don't know who runs this company, but I know exactly what they care about and what their interests are. And the thing that no one tells you about manufacturing a world before it's real, it makes the real version way easier to build, because now you have a filter. Every decision, whether it's website layout, a tone of voice, a meeting, how you structure a price, it gets run through this world building ideology, like you're Tolkien writing The Lord of the Rings. The brand starts making its own decisions and the world starts growing. And that's not fake. That's literally architecture. Okay, this last bit in chapter 4 is where I want to land, because I think this is the piece that most people skip, and it is genuinely the whole game. The goal of your brand's aesthetic is not to impress people. It is not to win design awards. It is not even to look good on your own website. The goal is to quote unquote travel. Think about brands you love and not just admire, but genuinely love and care for. Maybe it's a personal brand, maybe it's a character, maybe it's a movie character, maybe it's not even a fashion brand or a car brand. The ones that you've thought to yourself, I want to be around this world. What they've done is create an aesthetic that has a gravity to it. It pulls you in. It's free, it's compounding distribution that no ad budget can replicate. And if your aesthetic is done right, it should do the same thing. Here's a test I use and that I'd give to anyone building a personal brand right now. Imagine your brand had its own tab on Pinterest. Not one you created or curated, but one that other people built for you. What would be in it? What would people be posting that made them think of you without you directing it? What colors, what settings, what moods, what kind of people? And most importantly, what kind of feeling would be in that tab? If you can answer that question with specificity, you have a brand. If you can't, if the answer is vague or it sounds like it could describe 50 other people in your industry, well, then the work isn't done yet, and that is okay. That's exactly what this process is for. Because the other thing about building a genuine aesthetic, building a point of view that's so specifically yours, that it could belong only to you is that it compounds with time in a way that almost nothing does. If your pricing changes, your client caliber changes, the conversations you get into changes, people stop comparing you to competitors because comparison requires a shared category, and you've put yourself in something so different. And that's why I love the word and the term aesthetics. That is the actual ROI of aesthetic work, a brand that inspires people who haven't even met you yet. So, Pinterest still sounds like a mood board app for people planning kitchen renovations. Maybe, but now you know what it actually is. When you use it with intention, it's a decision-making gym, it's a fucking workout, it's a world-building tool, and it's a creative filter that over time teaches you who you are and who you are not. If you haven't started a board with a specific brand question in mind, start today. Please trust me on this. One question, one board. Give it 30 days and watch what it starts telling you about your own brand. And sometimes it's not even your brand, it's your body, it's your brain, whatever it may be in your life. And if you're new here, this channel is built for people who take creative direction seriously as a business skill. We do brand case studies, we break down the aesthetics behind the brands you love, and we talk about how to build something that actually lasts. Subscribe if that's the kind of content you want more of. And if you've already been building your aesthetic and you want to take it somewhere real, you know where to find me. I'll see you in the next one.